Hi, parents. I thought before I start doing a bunch of things on video and trying to jump into a bunch of assignments, I wanted to lay a foundation for when you find that what I'm doing might not suit where your child is at the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of parent videos. Kids can watch if they want, but it's not going to be very entertaining. I'm basically going to talk through some steps for you to continually help your child maintain advancements in their academics, most specifically in the language and the math. But I'm also going to work on physical development and emotional development. But there'll be different segments because I want to be conscious of time and attention spans for everybody. So this first video is going to be about reading, because it seems like society is really bent on having early readers. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of early reading, but I also want to express that a child has to be ready. You can teach till you're blue in the face, but if a child's mind is not ready to process the information, then they're not going to be able to get it, and it could be a frustrating situation for you and for them. Let me paint the picture this way. If you want your 5-year-old or 4-year-old or 3-year-old to drive a car, but their feet can't reach the pedals, how are they going to drive the car? So you have to wait and have patience until they have the things they need to be able to learn. And it's true for brain development, especially in the areas that we claim to be our academics. So today I'm going to start with language arts or reading. And I'm just going to go through a series of steps so that you can understand how we approach reading in the classroom and maybe help your child at home. Now, children have to see why something is important. And so if you're not talking about letters and sounds and you don't have books around, or you're not a reader and you're not modeling behavior why reading is important, it will have an impact on your child. So in order to be motivated, try to be a model for learning certain things in language. When we start to teach reading, we focus in the Montessori environment, we focus on letter sounds. We start with lowercase letters and we teach the sounds. We call it the Abacus board, and we will go through, I'm just going to show you a sample. This is not necessarily the one that I would be using, but I could use it. I would show the alphabet every day, and say apple, apple, ah, 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 apple, apple, ah, 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 butterfly, butterfly, b, 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 butterfly, butterfly, b, 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 so on and so forth throughout the whole alphabet. Now, when you finish the alphabet, or you do it several times, or you think your child knows all of the sounds, give them a little test. Say, okay, I'm going to point to a letter, tell me what sound it makes. Okay? And this way you can gauge what sounds they know and you can show their progress. So you can either use a chip or you can write them down and create in lowercase, not uppercase, in lowercase, create a bingo game of sorts. And you can use popcorn or pennies, and they can put objects on the sounds that they know until they get all their sounds. This is really the first step in learning how to read, is knowing your letter sounds. Now, with that said, when you get to kindergarten, children are assessed in knowing their letters, identifying their letters. Identifying is different than knowing their sounds. Can they identify all the capital letters? Can they identify all the lowercase letters? And then can they identify the sounds? But the sounds are the most important part of the alphabet. So remember to teach lowercase. Lowercase is what we see the most of when we read. When children I'm going to get into handwriting, but when children write their name in all caps, I'm not impressed, because what's happening is they're learning a bad behavior. We don't write our name in all caps. For some reason, children tend to write their name in all caps because the alphabet is presented to them in capital letters. So focus on your lowercase letters. And then the next thing you can do in alphabet knowledge is, can you pair uppercase and lowercase? Some of them look the same. Many of them look different. Capital A, lowercase a. Capital B, lowercase b. With that said, even high readers at ages 3, 4, 5, and sometimes 6 can misread the letters B, D, P, and Q. It's developmentally appropriate. They're going to get it. They're not going to go to college not knowing B, D, P, and Q. Just so you know. Now, when we teach letters, that's how we teach the sounds. We start with the abacus board and teach the sounds. But if that, just the repetition, they've done this in class. Even my babies have done this in class. We go over it and over and over it. It's just a morning routine. Could be part of when you're eating breakfast or whatever. Even if you're a strong reader, it's always nice to solidify those sounds. To be honest, what's happening in the school is that children are going to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, and they're finding out that their phonics are not strong enough, that they didn't have a strong foundation in phonics, phonics meaning the sounds of the letters, and therefore keeps them falling farther behind as a result. So even if you're a strong reader, make sure you keep up with those sounds. Now, if you want to break them down into a smaller group, which is something I do when I'm teaching reading to the 4-year-olds in my class, I will set up the letters with 1 vowel and 4 to 5 consonants. 1 vowel and 4 to 5 consonants. So we start with A, a row of consonants, E, a row of consonants, I, a row of consonants, O, and so on and so forth. We identify vowels by writing them in blue and consonants in red. So you can write the letter A, blue, 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 blue. Create your own words using certain consonants and their sounds. For example, if you teach A, B, and T, and C, say, what words can you make with B, A, T, C, A, T, and you start building on those letter sounds. That's when we're getting into more advanced reading. Now, like I said, so it's kind of 4 components. I'm going to keep repeating myself so that we can get it. We want to have our letter sounds, our lower alphabet identification, our upper alphabet identification. Once we have a strong foundation there, we can keep moving forward. Now, blending sounds. If I have the letter C, A, T, K, A, T, I might be able to make those sounds and still not read that word. It's a developmental step in a child's mind to be able to start blending sounds. Some children skip the step altogether and start reading words. Some children can sound out the words and still not put them together to make the word. There's all different learning types of students as well. So I want you to keep that in mind. As they get more advanced reading, I'll do that in another clip because I don't want to overwhelm you with too much information. This is Miss Ryan signing off for now. Thank you, and bye.